Are you struggling to pass data between unrelated components in Angular? You're not alone. This is a common challenge many developers face, and today we're going to tackle it together. I completely understand how frustrating it can be when you have a component structure that doesn't follow the typical parent-child pattern. It can feel like you're stuck in a maze with no way out. But don't worry, we will find a way through this. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user asked how to pass data between two unrelated components in Angular. They mentioned their structure includes a nav bar with a summary and a child summary, but they couldn't find a way to share data without using the parent-child relationship. Sound familiar? Let's dive into this. So what's the issue here? In Angular, components typically communicate through inputs and outputs, but when they are not directly related, it can be tricky. We'll explore how to use a shared service to facilitate this communication. And stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to pass data between unrelated components, plus a bonus tip that will make your Angular development even smoother. To pass data between two unrelated components in Angular, the user should start by creating a shared service. This service will hold the data and allow both components to communicate. Next, the user should implement the shared service in both components. This involves injecting the service into the constructor of each component. Now the user can subscribe to the data in the child component. This allows the child component to react whenever the data changes in the shared service. Finally, the user should update the data in the shared service from the parent component whenever a selection is made. This will trigger the subscription in the child component. Fun fact, did you know that Angular was developed by Google? It's a powerful framework that makes building web applications easier, but sometimes it can throw us a curveball like this data passing issue. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative approach suggested by another user is to use a service for passing data between unrelated components. This method allows components to communicate without a direct parent-child relationship. Now, let's dive into a different answer from another user. An alternative solution provided by another user suggests two methods for passing data between unrelated components in Angular. First, you can use a shared service with observables to facilitate communication. Second, you can implement ngrx-store, which operates similarly to Redux, allowing you to retrieve data from a centralized state. That's it for that response. Let's explore another one. An alternative approach to share data between two independent components in Angular is to use an event emitter along with a service. This method allows components to communicate without a direct parent-child relationship. Let's take a look at an answer from another user. An alternative approach suggests using an injectable service to pass data between unrelated components. Since these components don't share a common parent, you can inject the same service into both components and subscribe to its events. This method allows for effective communication between components without a direct parent-child relationship. For more details, refer to the Angular documentation on creating and registering injectable services. Here's the bonus tip I promised. Always keep your services organized and well documented. This will save you time and headaches in the long run, especially when your application grows. And there you have it. You now know how to pass data between unrelated components in Angular using a shared service. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on Angular development.